Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. I'm Shay Wilson, thinking big, living bigger, and loving the biggest. Good morning. It is March 14th. We are talking about spiritually fit and what does spiritually fit look like. We know what physical fitness looks like. We have an idea rather of what that looks like. But what does being spiritually fit look like for us, and how can we make that, how can we incorporate more into our lives? And so today we're talking about one that's awesome. We're going to talk about what does spiritually fit look like in appreciation and gratitude. That spiritually fit people practice appreciation and gratitude. Come on with me. Get on, jump on, jump on, jump on. Let me see if you got comments going on. Let me see you. Let me see you. Let me see you. If you want a comment, let me take that out real quick. Okay, come on in, come on in, come on in. We're going to talk about appreciation and gratitude. Let's practice a little bit of that this morning. I'm absolutely appreciative of a good weekend, of a restful weekend, a peaceful weekend, of a weekend that just allowed me to take care of myself. Slow, but not necessarily slow. Talked to some good people, did some things, just took care of myself. So I love that. So come on with it. What do you have? What did you do this weekend? What are you appreciating? Because we're going to get into this conversation really quick, because it seems like it's a simple conversation, and people will say, well, I practice appreciation and gratitude all the time. But we're going to talk about not just saying it in the morning, and what keeps us from being appreciative totally. All right, let's rock it. All right, let me see you. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Jump on, jump on, jump on. You know, I always have my affirmations. One of my best ones right now is I am prepared for the unexpected. Best case scenario. I love that one. I love that. I am prepared for the unexpected best case scenario. You know, we get ready for the worst one all the time. I'm talking about the best case scenario there. I'm opening my heart, my mind for that, for the best case scenario. The other one is that I am so appreciative of all the joy, abundance, love, and inspiration that finds me today. I am open. I receive. I am ready. Boom. Look, I love those. I love my affirmations. I love to start the day with them. I check on them all day. Say it just like we're going to start appreciation. So when we talk about it, that spiritually fit people have a strong appreciation and gratitude practice. And one of the reasons they learn that you stay in a higher vibration when you're doing that on a regular basis. Now, it's not that many of us are not grateful. It's that we don't practice it on a regular basis. We may say say it in the morning, but all day long, we may complain about what's going on in our lives all day long, indicating it's an unsatisfaction. There's dissatisfaction in how you're living, on your job, in your relationship, on your body, all the things. So I had 5 things that I want to talk about over the next two weeks about how we do it. One of the things to practice appreciation is to celebrate ourselves and appreciate ourselves in small things, in the small things that we do every day. And the small things we do every day. That's a big one, because that's a practice to celebrate ourselves. I didn't say other people. You listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying to celebrate ourselves, to appreciate who we are, to appreciate the small steps that we take on an everyday basis. And if we do that, that supports us really believing that we are becoming more. It keeps us aware of who we're becoming and how we're doing things. It keeps us knowing that we're not those old definitions of ourselves, that we have made moves. And so to celebrate ourselves and appreciate ourselves on the small things on a daily basis truly helps. And we can look outside of that. When you celebrate those that are in your life on a regular basis every day, appreciating the small things. It doesn't mean that they're just going to stay small. When we appreciate those things that we have, those who we are right now, it's still expanding and reaching for more. We still are growing. It doesn't mean you're going to stay right there. I know many people think that that's what's going to happen. So I'm just appreciative. I'm appreciative of that knowledge right there, that I can practice appreciating myself, and it changes the idea and the vision of who I have for myself. All right. Number 2 says to stay in the present moment. Many times we are either looking at the past or we're looking in the future, and we get ourselves upset because we're looking at both. We're no longer in the past, but we're lamenting the past, or we're still defining ourselves in the past, or we're still in the past not forgiving ourselves, or we're looking in the future where we're not yet, but we're going there, and we're not there yet, but we're going there. We don't have that person yet, but we continuously looking there, and we don't stay in the present moment to appreciate those things that we have around us, who we are in this present moment. The idea that sometimes that you don't feel good, and you're reaching for a better feeling thought. You don't feel good, but you go to work out anyway, and then you feel better. You don't feel necessarily the best, or you're having a bad day, but you take care of yourself. Maybe you buy yourself flowers. Maybe you go take a walk. Those things, celebrate and say, God, I appreciate the push that it took for me to do that. Sometimes many of us have times just getting out of bed. We should just celebrate the fact that we got out of bed. We did not feel like it. I know I see my strong people on here, my strong people on here. You know what I'm talking about. And just appreciating the fact that you did that day, that morning, you kept moving, you did something good for other people. Many of us don't celebrate that we give so much of ourselves to other people that we don't celebrate ourselves in that equation. All right. Number 3, and again, I'm gonna go over these in more detail. Expresses gratitude and appreciation all day. That is a practice. I'm gonna say that over and over again. Sometimes we'll get up in the morning and we'll say thank you for certain things, but we forget during the day those little things, so some of them big, that happened, that we forget to say appreciation for, a gratitude for during the day. And people ask, how do you stay in such a great mood? I said, a lot of times because I practiced this gratitude thing, this appreciation of who I am, where I am, that it helps me during the day, that when I have a bad day, I have such a bank account of what has helped, what has come through for me, what has worked out for me, that I kind of know, like, oh, it's going to work out because I have a history of this. I document it, either whether I say it out loud or whether I write it in my journal. I document the goodness that has happened to me, even in the midst of chaos, even in the midst of upset, even in the midst of disappointments. I know that it's always more good that has happened than some life event that kind of makes me sad or makes me upset at the time. One thing that keeps us from truly celebrating, and I think I've alluded to this when I talk about the past, and I'm going to talk about these two just coming up, is the release of shame, blame, guilt, anger, upset. A lot of us have a hard time, and we talked about practicing forgiveness last week, is forgiveness. Shame, blame, and guilt completely abolishes a lot of times our appreciation and our gratitude for where we are and what we have right now, who we have in our lives, who we become. We can't appreciate ourselves totally because we're still holding on. We still have a little bit of that weight on us, or a lot of the weight on us of shame, blame, guilt. So the gratitude, appreciation, anytime something good happens to us, we bounce it off of who we used to be, or what mistake we made, or we think somebody else should have it because we're not deserving. Do you hear what I'm saying? This shame, blame, and guilt thing, this appreciation thing goes hand in hand with that. And we cannot appreciate all of our things because we keep thinking that we don't deserve a lot of stuff. Then so we stay right here and we stay small. Anybody feel me on that? I'm talking about gratitude and appreciation, but this is the reason why we can't really fully expand and really see the miracles in our lives many times. That we wait until it's like a major mega thing that happens, and we know that mega things happen maybe sometime for many of us few and far between, because that's how we let it in. We don't let a lot of mega things happen because we holding on to a lot of shame, blame, or guilt. Are we holding someone else to a lot of shame, blame, or guilt that has done something to us that we feel like they should? So we're still holding ourselves in a holding pattern for our miracles, our blessings, our loved ones, all the things. So come on, listen. Does that resonate with anybody? Does that resonate with anybody? Does that resonate with anybody? The shame, blame, and guilt with that. Does that resonate? Anybody holler at me? Talk to me. Let me see you. Does that resonate with you? Does that resonate with you? The shame, blame, and guilt is huge. Many times Because that's why we can't really grasp if we go into a job right now that we don't really care for. But the fact is that you therefore, for the purpose of getting a paycheck, that's a beautiful thing. And if you really look at it, if we get it back in perspective of why we do what we're doing, when we're doing it, then we can always find gratitude. But if we have a lot of resentment holding us, we're clouded by that. We can't appreciate what we have with just that. No, you don't have to stay there. We don't have to stay there. We can always move, right? All right. Again, the fifth one, we're going to go back to forgiveness. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. To learn how to forgive is huge. But even the practice of forgiveness, you should appreciate yourself for even saying it's not just a one-time deal to forgive. You may have to do it this morning, wake up this morning and say, listen, I've already released that. I want to do that. Just by saying that, you should say, I'm super grateful that my insight, that my heart is desiring to change. I know that I can ask the universe, the source, to help me with this process. And eventually that will be gone. That will be lifted off of me because I know that all what I say matters. What I think matters. And so when we start going, I appreciate this day, this moment. I appreciate the fact that I have an opportunity to ask for how I want my day to go. I appreciate my body. One of the things we don't do enough of is appreciating our bodies, appreciating the fact that our bodies do things that we don't do any, we don't have anything to do with it. It just does its thing. And so I'm always just appreciating what I have for my eyesight, whether it's my eyes, my mouth, my feet, my hips. I am so appreciative of how it allows me to do what I do. I'm appreciative of the insight that I grasped when I know that it was something that just came up from within me that gave me an idea to do something. I appreciate the love that I have in my heart and how I want to expand that, how I want to grow with that. These are the things that you can appreciate, how you take care of your fur babies, how you take care of your children, how you take care of yourself, appreciating how you get up and move every day. Listen, I used to be like, listen, I appreciate a good cup of coffee. That's when I drank coffee. This weekend I had two cinnamon rolls. People that on my social media saw that vegan cinnamon rolls, but they were so sugary. But listen, I loved it. I appreciate me doing something I don't normally do. I don't normally do that. I appreciate the impulse to get out and do things. So it's things like that. We're going to start this day off with appreciation and gratitude. And my challenge to you is go all day looking for things to appreciate. I love my clients when they come in with great moods or when they come in and they're not as good mood, and I can shift them. And when they finish their workout, they feel so much better. I love seeing that. I appreciate that. I appreciate the investment that they have in their health and in me. I appreciate the talents that I have and that I'm honing, the other skills that I'm honing. So I can go down the list and I'll go all day with this. I appreciate seeing ladybugs. I appreciate feeling the warmth of the sun. I appreciate feeling the cold, rainy, cloudy days, because those days tend to make me slow down, right? They make me slow down and I do other things. I won't be wanting to go outside and do stuff. So this appreciation, spiritually fit people practice gratitude, not so that you can stay satisfied, that you can just stay in the comfort zone, but to appreciate where you are, to be satisfied where you are while we're reaching for more, while we're reaching and expanding, because our growth change is inevitable. And even subconsciously, we ask and we want things. So we reach for those things. So we're going to grow. And there's a quote that that I'm marinating with right now. And it says that many times negative emotion takes over us because we have not kept up with what we've asked the universe for. So we've asked the universe for more in certain areas, but because we stay where we are, whether we are afraid to move, whether we want to just stay in our comfort zone, whether we're not sure how to move, then we get very frustrated, disappointed when we have outgrown situations, not knowing that we just have to keep moving past. Like we'll get an impulse to look for another job, to do things. We've outgrown situations. And instead of appreciating the fact that we've outgrown it, we get very frustrated because we don't think we can move, because we have all these different resistant thoughts in our head. And it might feel me on that. And so that right there was a revelation of, why do I feel frustrated in this position? Why am I getting upset? It's many times because I've outgrown it. I've outgrown that in this time to do something different. It doesn't necessarily mean to leave a particular section totally, but just know that you've outgrown it, and now asking the universe, source, God, what do I do here? Because I know that you said asking it is given and open to receive. All right, guys, that's just a taste of it. We'll hit the rest of it next week. Gratitude and appreciation. Gratitude and appreciation. I appreciate you jumping on this morning. It is March 14th. Let's rock this day. Let's get your workout in today. Never skip a Monday's workout. If you have not signed up for my mastermind class, guys, sign up. That's one of the things. That's one of my heart things that I do, because it encompasses everything, mind, body, and spirit. It jump starts you if you are lulled, if you are stuck, if you feel like you're not keeping up with where you're supposed to be. That's the class, because we literally talk about these things. We literally you have an accountability partner in me and those that's in the class. We move towards that, and we release a lot of things that are blocking us. All right, guys. Have an amazing day. I gotta get out of here. Listen, big blessings, love, and light to you. Abundance, prosperity, joy this day. Intuition, impulses, inspiration today. I want you to feel like you got the world just right here in your hand, because you do, and we do. So let's go get it. Let's go get it. All right, guys. See you. Oh, I'm Shay Wilson, thinking big, living bigger, and loving the biggest. Boom. Bye, guys.